for joining us. Today, we are going to be talking about the ways you can advocate for your child living with low-grade glioma, also known as PLGG, to help ensure their progress in school. My name is Kim Buff, the founder and executive director of Momcology, an advocacy organization directly supporting pediatric cancer families. I'm joined today by my colleague at Momcology, Kat Picente, along with two special guests and friends of Momcology from Nationwide Children's Hospital in Columbus, Ohio, Dr. Cynthia Gerhardt and Dr. Catherine Kirkpatrick. Before we get started, I would like to thank Day One Biopharmaceuticals for bringing us together, providing this educational webinar event, and for their ongoing support of the PLGG community. Please note that this webinar does not provide medical advice and is for educational purposes only. Content discussed is not intended to be a substitute for medical advice or health diagnosis. The content of this presentation is based on the speaker's personal opinions and perspectives and does not reflect the opinions of the Abigail Wexner Research Institute of Nationwide Children's Hospital. Always seek the advice of your child's treating physician or qualified healthcare provider regarding any questions related to your or your child's health. Day One Biopharmaceuticals is proud to collaborate with many childhood cancer foundations. The perspectives that we will share today represent our own opinions and experiences, and not those of Day One. Thank you all very much for taking time out of your busy week to join today's program. Before we get started, I would love for our panelists to say hello and share a little bit more about themselves.
Thank you, Kim. I'll go first. I'll hop in here. I'm Kat Picente, and I'm the Director of Operations and Strategic Initiatives for Momcology. Today, I'm here as my role as mom. My son Luca was diagnosed at 15 months old with brain cancer and is now a 16-year-old survivor dealing with the late effects of his cancer and treatments. Luca's late effects include cognitive delays, neurocognitive issues, learning disabilities, all that impact him and have impacted him at every step along his educational journey. And I'm happy to be here today, and thank you for inviting me to share our family's perspective.
I'm Kathy Kirkpatrick. I'm the education coordinator in the Hematology Oncology Division at Nationwide Children's Hospital. And my role is to serve as a liaison between families and schools and the medical team to help identify and advocate for academic supports.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Gerhardt, and I'm a pediatric psychologist at Nationwide Children's Hospital and primarily do research and administration as Chief Clinical Research Officer at our Research Institute. And throughout my career, my research is focused on how childhood cancer affects children and families over the course of development, particularly how late effects can impact children and their families with respect to the neurocognitive outcomes as well as social and behavioral outcomes. So I'm really happy to be here and share some of what we've learned over the years from our families.
For our first question, what type of learning difficulties do you typically see in children living with brain tumors?
Some of the challenges that our brain tumor survivors may face may involve different kinds of cognitive skills, like being able to process information quickly. You may see that they're a little bit slower to kind of pick up on things or be a step or two behind. Challenges with working memory, attention and being able to shift attention, and some of those higher level skills that we refer to as executive function skills. An example of that may be, the ability to kind of follow multi-step commands, such as, going to your room, getting your jacket, get your, your books and your lunch and meet me out front. And so you may notice as a parent that your child may miss some of those steps or they may forget along the way. So these are sort of subtle things that you may pick up on at home, or the teacher may begin to notice as your child progresses through school.
I'd like to add that first off, you were basically describing my experience and my child, so I can completely relate. But you might be thinking, is this just normal kid behavior? Are they lashing out? Is this behavioral or is this learning? And I think that because it's so invisible, it's easy to overlook the fact that these are very real, very difficult issues for these kiddos to deal with.